One hell of a view. Okay. You guys know the deal. Plumguyny is doing AC. Light AC. Very light. No, I was over here earlier in the week, and this thing sounds like poo when it runs. So we ordered a whole new fan assembly with a motor. And what we're going to do is take good video documentation of all this wiring so that we can completely replicate exactly what's here and put it back the same way so I don't have a repeat of what happened to me earlier in the week. I am also, I just finished last night my EPA 608 certification. I just need to wait for my examiner to give the thumbs up that I did a good job. But I haven't been working with any refrigerants anyway, so it's not like I'm doing anything I'm not supposed to be doing. So, all right, we're gonna document all this wiring, and then we'll start pulling this whole thing out. A little before sample. Nope. It sounds so bad, I don't even want to run it for long. You can see the wobble in it. Yeah, no bueno. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So cool. That looks exactly the same as what's already there. It's just a matter of unplugging everything and then plugging it back in. So I know this might seem really stupid or silly, but if I literally do one by one and I transfer over what's here onto this, then it would be really hard for Plumbing James to mess this up. But at the same time, I always find a way to mess something up. Okay, so this is going to the ground. Common to ground on here. Common to ground. I'm excited to learn this stuff, but it's also been so nerve-wracking. I mean, this week I've had quite a few calls that have really just racked my brain. Okay, so that's going to go to purple, and this orange is going to that witch. Before we get into that, plug you to the side, plug you to the side, plug you to the side. Okay, those aren't being used. Okay, so before we get into that, we're going to test and make sure we don't have power there. I should have tested for power before I started just pulling all the wires out. Like I said, I like to live my life on the edge. No, I'm just not thinking. Okay. Yep. So this is going to go onto this. And then this side is going to go up to that harness. And then this side is purple. This. Perfect. And these aren't used. Okay. Next is black. It's going up. Boom. That goes to that. And that goes to that. So, cooperate. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that goes to this here. I wish I had like half the wiring capabilities as Daniel. He's so good at wiring. I was stumped. If you guys watched my video last week on, or It was from last week, but it posted yesterday on the boiler rebuild, the block replacement. After I wired it, the boiler was running even with the thermostat off. So I went back because I had to fix something, and I was trying to rewire it and I couldn't figure it out. So I had to call Daniel, and Daniel walked me through it over the phone. And let's just say we got it figured out. Okay. So green is going to come off from these two. I'm going to keep these two together, and green's going to go back. Yeah, I was powering 24 volts to the gas valve, and that's what was keeping it running. And so I had to break it with the thermostat. Okay, so these four were together with brown. Put those back together. And then this red went to this red. Sick. Where'd you go? Where did you go? Why? Oh, and it landed standing up. Okay, so this red goes to this red. This harness unclips. It clips onto here, like this. And we should be ready now to remount everything. So this is all disconnected. Right? Yep. This is all disconnected. This is all disconnected. Let's get these four screws out. I was sitting there like looking at the wiring on this boiler, and I'm like, dude, what am I doing wrong right now? I was getting really frustrated. And I have an understanding for wiring, but once you start mixing in controls and old boiler steam controls, it gets a bit confusing. And I was like, I'm not calling Mike. I don't want to bother him. And I was like, I'd rather bother Daniel. And so we tore all the wiring apart, isolated everything. I wired in the thermostat to the 24 volts, to the pressure troll, to the gas valve, to the rollout switch, to the spill switch. And the boiler worked when I disconnected the line for the, yeah, you can see it's got some wobble to it. The boiler worked when I disconnected the line from the thermostat. The boiler shut off. Let's take a look in there. So then we wired in our low water cutoff, and then we wired in our vent damper. And it was running. And Daniel was hyped for me. Okay. New one. Oh, please cooperate and don't give me a hard time. Yeah. You know, I give props to you HVAC guys. I'm gonna get those wires out of there. And there's any wire nuts right now. Boom. That side's sitting flush. Why isn't the other side? Whew. That wiring fiasco. But we got it figured out. The guy called me actually today. I was super happy, which made me super happy. And then the second call we had, there's some plumbing related stuff going on, but also the client's Nest thermostat died on the wall. It said no power. So what he do, he took it off the wall and he threw it out. And he took his Nest from downstairs and plugged it in. And it didn't work. See, these aren't that tight. Let me see, if I pull on this one, does it pull out too? No, that one's in good. So I go there. System's on and running. blowing out hot air. Or it's blowing out hot air inside the house. The outdoor coil, condenser coil, is blowing cold air. So I'm like, that's weird. So I call Mike, and he tells me to reverse the OB setting, because OB is for heat pump, and that's what energizes or de-energizes the reversing valve inside the unit, right? This is my first time learning this stuff. So we do that, system blows cold air, voila, I'm amazing. But I proceed on with my day. I get back to the shop at the end of the day, hanging out with Daniel, talking about our day, how it went. And the client calls and says, thermostat says no power again. And we were like, well, don't throw it out this time. So we went back, and the thermostat had no power. So Daniel goes up in the attic, and he sees that the condensate pump, the condensate trap, hold on one second. So Daniel sees the condensate trap is plugged up. There's a safety switch on it. So he cleans it out, and the unit kicks on, and it starts cooling. So what had happened was, that's what the original issue was. The trap filled up, and then by the time the customer put the new thermostat on, it was blowing hot air. So, because he took the thermostat off just a heating zone and put it on a heat pump zone. So once I switched the OB setting and it ran for a couple hours, it condensed, and then it filled up the trap again. What was frustrating was that Derek was up in the attic pulling the panel off the air handler and didn't see that issue with the condensate trap. But that's fine. That's why I went back with Daniel, so I can see. Okay, I have everything here nicely put back together. Just make sure you give tugs on everything. That. I'm going to go down to my truck, and I gotta take the elevator, go down, and get some zip ties so we can button this up, because I don't want to turn it on and then stuff starts getting sucked into the fan. Me and you and me. At least there's air conditioning in the elevator. Whew, holy moly. Why does the HVAC have to have so much excessively long wires and wire harnesses? There's gotta be a better way. Not for real. Come on. Let me make Daniel and Mike proud. Their son's first steps. I'm gonna have to rebrand my channel, add some fun HVAC things into it. I hope I didn't bend that thing. Don't worry, I'm going to cut all the excess stuff off. Alright, I guess let's see how that does first. Sweating. There's no chance any of this gets sucked in, right? You guys are probably screaming in the comments right now, like, James, I can make pipes look really nice. There's just something about wires. Just really something about wires. James, you put 15 zip ties on everything. What are you doing? Alright, that looks better. Better-er. Alright, let's get this thing turned on. Fingers crossed I didn't miss. Sounds really good. Amazing. Booyah. I want to go check something out. Oh, wait. Wait, James. Moron. It would be helpful if you guys said something. Like, James, wait. Don't zip tie it yet. You have to put the cover on. Yeah, well, now guess what? If I ever do this again, I can promise you that James is going to make sure that that silly little cover that was there is on first before he starts zip tying all the wires. Because now James knows. Right. Put the system back on real quick. Make sure everything looks good. You have to turn the thermostat on. Just wait. Privacy reasons. Okay, that's how we do it. Pretending like I'm some sort of master HVAC technician. I'm not. I just get help from my coworkers and my colleagues. Nice. Side note, if anyone from Vito Pro Pack is watching, hit me up, because this bag is running out of space. And the more I learn HVAC, the more tools I keep putting in here. It's insane. I mean, it's great how much stuff I have packed in to this bag, but it's starting to not cut it anymore. And we gotta figure something out. Come on, Vito. Hit up Daniel. At least. Because if you hit up Daniel, then I'll get whatever leftovers.